Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for another track guide here at Circuit of the Americas, round 2 of the championship. A track that's 3.4 miles long with an elevation of 41 meters, opened in 2012, FIA Grade 1 with 20 corners and anti-clockwise. And Icora, once again, back on track to send us up into Turn 1. And there's so many different lines up into Turn 1. You can go wide and take it tight and get a good exit, or you could do the opposite, go in tight, but also run wide. Famously known for that contact between Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg, as they did at the start of the race in the wet. And the start of the race is going to be very interesting. As you can see here, the Cora sending it down the inside, trying to get as many positions as it possibly can at the start, but compromises its exit and gets a poor drive, which allows the Renault to come back underneath into Turn 2. So positions can be won or gained in different ways in this section, but also can be lost. But the Acura here gaining multiple positions, but obviously at the same time losing out another one to the Renault. So one to keep an eye on for, and definitely see if the guys can keep it controlled as they go into that section. And after that, we head into a very famous section of Cota. This is a replica version of Maggots and Beckett's, which is known in Silverstone GP, and this is Cota's version of it. And obviously the later part of this sector is then something that the guys that do develop this circuit decided to make it their own version. As you can see, the climb up the hill, car wants to make sure it's as stable as possible to get the best run through that sector. If you're looking at the cars like the Audi, the Lamborghinis, and possibly the Acuras to be very strong in this section, as the car is quite good on the chassis, quite good on downforce, so this is where it should be at its best. But also one thing to watch out for is the curbs here. The curbs on this track are very lethal. Most of the cars don't tend to like to run the curbs here, so you have to try and adapt and change your suspension, your dampers, to make them suitable to go through this section. Very difficult to also overtake in this part of the track. As you see here, the Acura stuck behind the Mercedes. It can't seem to find a way through due to the Mercedes power advantage but lack of downforce. The Mercedes struggles through this section, but the Acura is much more powerful. There's no obvious overtaking opportunity, so the Acura will have to make do and try and stick to as close as he possibly can to the Mercedes. If he's done that and he's made sure he's had a great run through that sector, it will then lead him down to the second best opportunity to overtake, which is at the hairpin. As we go into the hairpin, you can get another corner that you can take multiple different lines. But the way the circuit is this wide, there's so many opportunities to take different lines. You can go in tight, you can go in wide. And in this case, the Acura comes out and gets a good run out of the first sector and then heads towards the hairpin. With it going wide and braking just at the dark patch, it allows it to get great traction out of the corner, hitting the apex, and you can get a good run down the back straight, which you'll need to get a good slipstream or a good tow on the car in front. Like I said, a second good opportunity for the cars to overtake, and down the inside goes the Acura and gets the job done on the Renault. But if he does overshoot the corner or misses and has a poor run, the Renault can come back and attack. But luckily the Acura has done enough in this sense to stay in front. And this is what I was talking about, the tow. Down the back straight, there's two cars fighting. The Acura gets in the slipstream. This is where the Mercedes and the Porsche should be strong, including the Lamborghini. Straight line speed is going to be very vital through there, as the Acura will go down the inside to three cars wide there, and he gets the job done and heads into the tight, twisty section of the final sector. This sector is also a replica version of Hockenheim Stadium section. Both of these corners have been replicated to be similar to Hockenheim Stadium, and as you can see here, the Acura trying its best to get the best traction as well. You can go in early apex, let the car drift wide, and go in a wide entry into a tight exit. Through here is the replica version of Turkey's Turn 8 Istanbul circuit, as the Acura goes through that shaker. We'll come back to that in a minute, but there's one other opportunity we can do here, is send it down the inside. We can catch other cars out in this section. As you can see there, the Acura goes down the inside of the Audi and gets that job done, then leans itself into the Istanbul right-hander. Obviously at Istanbul it goes to the left. Here at Cota it goes to the right. Your downforce and your suspension needs to be at its best there to be able to take the load that the car is asking for you, which then leads you to the penultimate corner and then the final corner, where track limits will be watched. The penultimate corner, again, the rules state that all two tyres must be at least on the curb or on the inside of the line. The white line, that's on the side of the circuit. And you can see there, Acura staying within track limits nicely. But also it's a final opportunity for an overtake. The final corner is where you can get your last opportunity while you can. It's coming towards the end of the race. This will be an opportunity where the guys can try and get that last move in. but traction is key on the final corner. If you don't get that good traction, you're not able to then fight and hold on to that position, which will then lead you into turn 1 to get another good position. Yokora goes around the outside of the Mercedes here, tries the option around the outside, but because the Mercedes has the inside, it has the advantage, it gets better drive, better exit, and is able to stay in front. So that's a quick guide of the Circuit of the Americas, round 2 of the season. Here are your lap records. Pro qualifying record is a 2:04.2, race record is a 2:05.4. The Pro-Ams 2:05.9 and a 2:07.3. The Pro-Ams was done by Ukbar. Quality time was done by Overtaker, and a race record done by Fury. That's what we're looking forward to here. The wet weather is going to be also an interesting factor here if it is wet, but to the guys in the Pro and in the Pro-Ams, that is a quick guide of the circuit, and best of luck to everyone here this evening. And we go back to the guys in the comms.